Your podcast, Rosie, is the Roaring Twenties podcast. What is it about the twenties that appeals to you?
Um, I just really love the era. I think we've had such a we've been sold it in so many films and
Mm,
books and stuff, and I just think it's just such a great time period to actually look at, because we kind of have this image of gangsters and like dancing and jazz music, but I kind of wanted to look into more of was it actually like that, because
mm,
I know from doing historical research and reading books that really it probably wasn't how we think it
mm.
is.
I love about history, and it's you could kind of draw a line towards music and films that everybody has kind of a genre that they like in music. And in history, people seem to have specialist subjects that they really, really kind of can devote themselves to, and tell us, like you say, tell us exactly what happened rather than what we've been kind of spoon fed about what happened. Because obviously, there's not many people around from the 20s who can talk to us and tell us about what happened. I'm fascinated by American history, and particularly kind of modern, I guess you'd call it American history in the last maybe 100 years or so. Um, can you tell, because this is kind of a kind of a subgenre, if you will, about in the 20s there was a phenomenon that were flappers were a type of people. Could you tell us what flappers are?
Yeah, so they're basically, if you've ever watched anything based in the 20s, it's those girls with the kind of, I don't know what it's called, um the nice kind of shift dresses, and a lot of them have tassels
Mm,
on, and they kind of when they dance it moves with them, and they've got kind of the short bob and the headband, and smoking the long cigarette. They like drinking, they like jazz music, they like going to clubs. They are also promiscuous, and they're just kind of the modern woman
mm.
in the 20s. But yeah, there's just this image of them that they were all really wild and you know drank to all hours of the day and partied every day and all that kind of thing. So I think if you ever watch anything, I think The Great Gatsby,
Mm.
there's a lot of flappers in The Great Gatsby. Yeah.
The What's fascinating about the flappers to me was the rebellion, amongst them. The idea that women were supposed to be a certain way back then in the 20s, and they went against everything that they were kind of, told that they were supposed to be. And like you said, they were promiscuous, which was kind of not just frowned upon, way more than frowned upon. Out drinking, out in nightclubs, for the time, maybe scandalously dressed. But there's something, I don't know, there's something kind of heroic to me about the idea that they were going against everything that they were not supposed to be doing. They had this, you were wearing one on a podcast, your own podcast, I should say, last week. What is the thing that's like on the head that comes down on the forehead? There's kind of like is that a kind of a jewel or something?
Yeah, so the one I had just was a jewel, but I just noticed in a lot of the films and stuff, they all have kind of, especially the rich
Mm.
flappers have kind of crystal headbands and stuff like that. I think it was just a fashion thing at the time, just look nice.
I think it looks class. It was funny when I saw the picture of your podcast when you put it out, and I was kind of like, everybody will know once they see it. They'll be like, oh, "Of course, I'm probably not describing it very well." I'll be honest, because fashion has escaped me my whole life. I'll be fair. I'll be honest. So, but the flappers fashion is particularly cool. I think it is anyway. And if anybody wants to kind of look up, you will see in Hollywood films from the 20s and 30s, and beyond, obviously, but it's especially in 20s and 30s, they feature the kind of the characters that is a flapper. And almost there's some films where they're trying, or the man in it is trying to tame the flapper, and that seems to be like a recurring thing. If they go the other way, uh, it's normally they're trying to save them because they're drinking too much and the devil has a hold of them, or whatever way they want to put it. So it's fascinating to me.